If you're looking to improve your productivity and focus, this is the video for you. As in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the most popular productivity tactics, rating them from F tier, which is the worst of the worst, to S tier, which is the best of the best in terms of how effective these strategies are in improving your productivity and your focus. Hello, I'm Dylan, I'm 18 and I coach lazy people to turn productive using tactical techniques and strategies like the ones in this video that have changed my life forever. I spent 5,000 hours or 210 days straight playing Call of Duty and other such video games, wasting my life away. Now, I effortlessly and easily breeze through large banks of my work for my business, education and personal development goals, and I truly believe most YouTubers get it wrong. The productivity space is clouded with heaps and loads of productivity tactics, but I hope this video helps you filter down what's going to be useful for you and what is useless junk that's clouding your mind and cluttering your work, making you less productive. So let's get straight into it. Number one, multitasking. This is a simple, comprehensible productivity tactic where people say you should manage more than one task at a time to improve productivity as you're getting more work done, supposedly. However, this is literally killing your progress in productivity, and there's a multitude of reasons behind this. So number one, the part of the brain that focuses on tasks is called the reticular activating system. It's key and essential to getting work done productively because it thrives on clear-cut objectives for one goal. So when you activate the reticular activating system on one specific goal, everything else that isn't the task or the objective you need to get completed then fades away, and you're focused during this flow state on one singular task. So you have to imagine a reticular activating system like a filter for distraction, and the more clear you are on one single task or objective of what you need to get done, then the filter is stronger and distractions are less likely to seep into the work. So multitasking kills productivity, so we're going to place it in F tier. Next up, we have day planning the night before. This is a productivity tactic that I personally prescribe to all of the clients I coach, and so much so, I've made an entire product range around day planning because truly I believe it's the most important productivity tactic to focus on, as it has, like said on the front of this book, if a man knows not where he goes, then no wind is favorable. If you don't have a clear objective, path, or task list to dominate the next day, then how are you supposed to achieve a productive day? You need to know what one looks like before you can act and enact productive energy towards completing your to-do list in an efficient and effective manner. And furthermore, the reason it's effective is because you wake up, you look at your day plan, you look at your to-do list, and you can get straight into work. There's no decision fatigue. If you imagine you have 100 productivity points per day, every single decision takes away from those points. Making the decision on what you need to complete during the day is going to deduct from your productive energy. The amounts of points you can convert into focused energy, you're slowly, incrementally whittling away the output of the work you can complete because you're simply burning your brain out sooner. So by saving the choices in the next day, by planning the day the night before you sleep, you're going to make the next day hyper productive, and this puts day planning and planning the day the night before in S tier. So the first in S tier. Number three, music for focus. Tricky? It depends what you're listening to. If you listen to hard rap with lyrics you love, or you're rapping along to the song that's distracting you from the work, obviously it's going to be lower in this tier list. However, if it's a binaural beat or a low stimulating frequency song with no lyrics, and it helps you to focus in on the work by eliminating background noise or external irregular background noise, then it can be really stimulating for productivity in a focused and efficient work. So it's a bit hit or miss, but I'm going to place it in B tier because generally it can be super useful. And a little pro tip, if you learn something while listening to a specific frequency, for example 34 hertz, if you learn to that brown noise, then when you sleep, if you play a low sound version of that noise so you don't wake yourself up, you'll actually link your subconscious learning to the task you're doing. So you'll be learning in your sleep, and it'll help mark the task you've completed during the day, so the bank of learning that you've done, with a useful memory, which means while you sleep it won't get cleared out as the brain clears out the useless memories you don't need to free up space for the next day, etc, etc. Number four, a not to-do list. So just as I have this planner that has a massive to-do list for what you can do during your day, you should have a not to-do list. You should have a list of the tasks that you need to not do during the day to count the day as productive. For example, don't spend more than an hour scrolling on social media. For example, don't consume heavy amounts of food before you do your tasks. All these minute tasks that compound into a productive outcome, you need to be clear on what your not to-do list is. Don't be dehydrated, don't be too full, don't consume too much social media, don't rot away in your bedroom, get outside during the day. Utilize these small tasks to compound into a good productive outcome. However, as useful as this is, I think prioritizing day planning more than this not to-do list in terms of effectivity is incomparable. So I'm going to put it in C tier. It's good, but in terms of what you should directly focus on, I think there's more important things on this tier list for your productive journey. Number 5, app blocking. Super useful if you're spending too much time on social media. Blocking away the apps is going to be an obvious, comprehensible productivity tactic to make you more dialed in and focused and driven and disciplined towards the task, because you haven't got this external stimuli from the social media, the pings, the bangs, the buzzes, the notifications that are taking you away from the task. So, immediately B tier. Use an app like Opal, which I would suggest. They're not sponsoring this video. However, I've personally been using them for almost a year now, and it's incredible the shift in productivity you'll see just by blocking out the apps that are your biggest distractions. Number 6, public accountability, speaking to people. And this is something I struggle with. I used to start a business model, start an idea that I was trying to be focused and disciplined and driven towards, and I'd tell everyone and their dog. I'd spill the idea, I'd spill the how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to reach the success in the endeavor I've been talking about. However, this is negative. Although the accountability can be nice, and we'll get onto that in a further part of this video, public accountability and telling everyone and their dog about the business model and the success you're going to get releases serotonin, it releases dopamine in the brain, creating this illusion that you've already achieved the goals that you're talking about. You've already achieved the success that you're preaching you're going to get. And this tricks the brain and makes the brain demotivated to get that success, because in your head, you've already achieved it. So you trick yourself into thinking you completed the task you're telling everyone about, and this is going to make you unproductive. So immediately, it is going in E tier. Number 7, eat the frog. And what I mean by this is there's a kind of parable about eating the frogs. So you have to eat a frog. Would you rather eat it before the delicious dinner that you have set out for yourself, or after the dinner you consumed? So if you eat it after the dinner you consumed, you're eating your dinner, you're enjoying it, but in the back of your mind is this disgusting frog that you have to consume after the meal. So you're enjoying the meal, but all you can think and all you can feel is sick, disgusting, yuck, because you have to consume the frog after the meal. Whereas if you consume it before the meal, if you do the hard thing before the things you want to do, then when you eat the frog, you can cleanse your mouth, you can enjoy the meal knowing there's nothing left. So eating the frog is useful for those people who are motivated. However, in our to-do list for productivity and the effectivity of these tactics, I'm going to rank it C tier. And the reason behind this is it's quite an advanced productivity tactic. Not a lot of people, and especially if you're watching this video like this, let's be honest, you probably struggle with productivity, you probably struggle with procrastination. So setting yourself an extremely hard task, it's going to be tricky. It's going to leave you in unproductive, and it's going to leave you faltering in procrastination because you can't muster up the motivation to complete it. This takes us into number 8, snowballing. And snowballing is this concept I've coined where, just as on a winter's day when there's snow on the floor and you roll a small ball of snow down a hill, at the bottom it accumulates into a large mass of snow. And productivity and motivation and dopamine work the same way. See, dopamine, the neurotransmission of motivation in the brain that makes you feel driven and motivated to complete the task you've set yourself, is stackable. See, when you complete a super simple task like making your bed, dopamine's released. When you clean your desk, dopamine's released. When you have a cold shower, dopamine's released. And these tiny tasks that are releasing dopamine there, dopamine there, dopamine there, are all stacking on top of each other until you have momentum, inertia, and motivation running through and coursing through your body, which allows you to dominate the hard tasks. So don't eat the frog, don't set them immediately before the hard tasks. Do the simple, easy, minute tasks that are going to compound to motivation and a high release of dopamine, allowing you to get into the hard tasks. So on your to-do list, task number 1, make your bed. Task number 2, clean your desk. Task number 3, organize your desktop. Task number 4, have a cold shower. Task number 5, the hard task you need to complete, set it after these minute tasks, and you'll have more chance of completing it because the motivation's high, the dopamine's coursing through your body, and neurobiologically, you're ready for the work. So snowballing, S tier. Number 9, 90-minute focus sessions, and immediately this is going in A tier. This is based on an ultradian cycle, so your brain only has a certain amount of time it can focus for before this cycle resets, and resets itself, meaning you have to get back into the flow state of the work. So your brain literally can only work for 90 minutes. There's one ultradian cycle before you have to have a 20-minute break and go back into it. So biologically, we're putting it straight into A tier, simply because that's how the brain works. So it's obviously effective. Number 10, visualization, and this is a tricky one to talk about. Depending on the side of YouTube you are, you either have a lot of content proposing that the law of attraction and abundant mindset is going to bring you higher results in productivity and closer to the success you desire. However, this productivity tier list is ranked mostly on neuroscience, and although it's really useful for your self-image to believe that you're someone who can complete the work, in terms of the effectiveness of this strategy for you to implement in the stages of productivity you're at, I'm going to put it in D tier. However, again, it's really good for your self-image. If you're struggling with self-esteem, and I have a video here which will help you link your self-image to productivity, allowing you to get better results, but it's going in D tier. Number 11, reducing decision fatigue. We spoke about this earlier with day planning. However, if you put more effort into reducing decision fatigue, for example, setting out your clothes you're going to wear the next day, meal prepping the meals you're going to consume the next day during your work, you will save productive energy. And just as we said earlier with the brain point system, you're going to save brain points, allowing you to put them and invest them in higher ROI tasks, such as the hard work you need to complete for your business or your education. So immediately reducing decision fatigue with the tasks that I've just spoke about, or ask AI, how can I reduce decision fatigue and save brain points in my day-to-day? And it will give you a list of tasks you can do. I'm going to put reducing decision fatigue in A tier. And finally, number 12, we have monk mode. This is a hyper advanced strategy for productivity that I'm sure you're familiar with. Sometimes classed as 75 hard, sometimes classed as monk mode, but it's a dopamine detox where you shut off your phone, you have no social media input, and you just focus and grind on the task with limited social excursion. So this is good for some people who are generally down bad, and all they want to do in their life, in the phase of their life they're at, is to work and improve and get closer to the success they desire. And for those people, this is an S tier strategy. And me personally, during this summer of 2025, I'm going to embark on my own monk mode journey, you could say, as I'm locking in on this business, and I'm trying to improve the consistency and quality output of these videos to funnel into my business. But for the average people who are trying to improve productivity, but not trying to dedicate their sole purpose to the work they're completing because of other external stimuli, such as education, such as a part-time job, such as a full-time job, such as children, family, friends, girlfriend, etc., monk mode is going into B tier. Super useful if you're in that phase of your life where you're trying to dominate the work you need to complete. However, maybe not for everyone. And I hope you found this useful. If you're looking to get more help from me and have the accountability to implement the strategies we spoke about in this video, the top link in the description will take you to my productivity package with exclusive guides, a free high quality physical planner, and my personal phone number, so I can hold you accountable and help you reach the goals you want to achieve in 2025 productively. If that sounds interesting, click the top link. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.